How's it going, guys? This is episode 3 of Demon's LuteBox. I'm Demon. We got my co-host down below, Mouse,
Hello, hello.
and we have the Hairy Kraken to my left.
The Harry Kraken. It's just because you don't know what to call me anymore.
Well,
Call me Harry,
just
goddammit.
just call
Whichever
him
one
Harry.
works.
That's all he is. He's just Harry. That's how we know him. He is immortalized as Harry forever.
As I should be. It's just, if you go to Twitch, it's something different.
We're gonna be keeping on
It's
topic.
Kraken Prius.
Prius. Kraken Prius.
Probably gonna be keeping on topic with our last couple podcasts, talking about some Path of Exile and some things with the Switch 2, because there's been more developments on that. So, as usual, I'm gonna send it to Mouse and let him start because he's got a lot of
All
topics
right.
apparently.
Well, I don't know. Do we want to start with the Switch 2 stuff and then Path of Exile, or do we want to start with something else? Because I've got an actual unrelated news story here.
I would kind of, I mean, you can either way. It doesn't matter. I'd kind of like to do like one and then have something in between, or we can do something in between, and I don't know, whatever. I don't care.
Okay, well, let's just start off with the Switch 2. Let's just say let's rip the Band-Aid off here.
Mhm.
Okay, so first things first, we know that there is going to be no additional price on the price of the console, so it's just $449 for the base and $599 for the bundle deal thing.
Yep.
That is astronomical.
Yeah,
It
it's,
is.
you know,
For a
Well,
handheld.
that's
here's
not
the
what
thing.
gets me.
It's not the thing.
That's not what
that
gets
doesn't
me.
bother me. I'll pay that all day long. It's the fucking game price that fucking kills me. Like I just can't bring myself to bring or pay that much money for a fucking game. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's the
Right.
$80, you know, and they're like, oh well, it's Mario Kart World. There's so much content, but
Oh,
I mean,
hooray.
come on.
Let me get free reign in my Mario Kart.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Fuck all that. No, no.
This is a fucking fine. I don't give a
so
shit.
If it
here's-
weren't for the fact that there was a $50 version when buying it with the console, I would probably not be buying it either.
So
not for 80. That's for
here's the thing that I was reading on, and this is like the most fucking despicable thing for me, and I can't stand it because on top of the console being that much, on top of them raising the price of the games, they released the price of the accessories. And
Yeah,
and the
yep.
price of the accessories are just fucking insanely expensive. So you have the Pro controller is now going to be $84.99. The Joy-Cons for another pair are $94.99, which is fucking ridiculous. The camera
Oh,
is going to
wow.
be $54.99, and that thing looks like trash. So fuck that.
Yeah.
And then you have an extra dock set, which is $119.99. That is fucking egregious. Like I don't understand how they can think this is good. Like, if anybody's happy about this, they need to be slapped.
They're
Seriously.
not. No, I mean, to be completely honest, that's what they're doing is they're just
You-
banking on
you
the
know-
install base from the Switch to buy it.
But you know
basically,
as
to
well
give
as
them
I
the
do,
money.
there's those Nintendo fanboys that are out there that they're just like, oh no, the reason they're doing this is so that way they can produce better level games. And no, they're literally fucking disrespecting you and stealing your money. Fuck you. Shut up. Just
They're
shut
too
your
busy.
fucking
They're
mouth.
too busy trying to recoup their losses from suing Power World.
It's fucking something because like this is insane. I don't understand. Like the price hikes just keep fucking coming. Like Nintendo
Yeah.
accessories have always been fucking expensive, but like this is insane. I mean, if you
Well, in that same
buy
vein,
You mean spend Nintendo?
well, if you buy all the accessories, and those are just some of them that I mentioned. There was more, but if you bought all the accessories that they're gonna have on launch, you're looking at spending the same amount as you would on the console just on fucking accessories. Like that is
I mean, to be honest
insane.
though, there's no reason to buy all the accessories.
There's 100% not. There's no reason to. And if you do, you have something wrong with you. Like you need to take a step back and look at your financial situation and be like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
Like what? If you want to buy all those accessories and you want to not worry about it, you can give that money to me.
I'm telling you,
I 100% need it.
I will put it to better use
like-
than you are right now.
Well, in the same vein though, I've got right here the prices for micro SD Express. You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
new type of micro SD card that you have to have in order to power your Switch 2. 256 gigs, right? So the same size that's in the one that's already in the Switch,
Yeah.
right? And their internal storage. So for 256 gigs, it's $60.
Well, see, and
So for
that's the other thing is that they're literally they changed the
Yep.
price so that way you couldn't get like the off-brand cheap ass 64 gig or whatever
well,
SD
no, I mean, and
cards.
to be completely honest, that's not the reason. The reason is that the Express have like 3 or 4 times the speed
I
of
mean, I
read and write
understand
rate,
that,
and it
but
needs that for 4K and for faster frame rate gaming
I
and
mean,
stuff.
I
But the thing
understand
is,
that.
though, I'm not sure why they didn't just go and do what every single other PC handheld did and go for a little micro, the NVMe SSD sticks. It would have
Yeah.
given them a faster read and write time, and then it would have been much cheaper to swap out because SSD, the NVMe little SSD sticks, those are much cheaper,
Yeah.
byte for byte than these micro SD Expresses are.
Yeah, I don't know. Did they have different sizes, or was it just that one? Because I kind
Oh
of
no, they
interrupted you
do.
there. Do you
No,
have the
they have
prices on those?
512s. Yeah, 512s for $89. And once again, these prices are supposed to be going down. But right now, though, if you wanted to buy one ahead of time, yeah, you're eating a lot of money. They've even got 1 terabyte cards. These are for $173. So just
Uh,
tack that on to the price of your Switch.
that's ugly.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
the
So
only way that I can in any way justify that for Nintendo, and this is like playing devil's advocate, is that at least you have a decent amount of storage immediately. Now,
yeah,
the problem with that is that everything is going to be digital for this. So you're not going to be able to have all your games on there at once. So like if you're one of those people that doesn't like to download and then uninstall and download a different game, then you're probably going to be buying this if you even buy the Switch because whatever reason. So I mean, it's
yeah.
and it also comes down to how big are the games really going to be? Like how big or how
Well,
much
we
space
actually
is
have
it going to
some
take?
idea. My Mario Kart World, which is supposed to be like one of the biggest that they've seen and used and made so far, is like 24 or 25 gigs.
Okay, so
So
that's
we're
not
we're not
horrible.
talking Baldur's Gate 3 or Path of
No,
Exile 2 or
so
any of these
well,
ridiculous
here's what
sized
I.
games.
But here's what I'm worried about is how big is Elden Ring going to be? Because they're bringing Elden Ring to it. So I
I
know
think we
that
have sizes on that one too.
and I
Hold
know
on.
that they're going to drop the graphics down because I mean you could see it. Like they're going to have to, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's still got to
But
be
I've seen a lot of people
decent
once again
sized.
saying that they've compared it to the Elden Ring version that they've got on the Steam Deck. Same thing with the Cyberpunk version. And
Yeah.
they're saying that it plays, quite a bit smoother. Maybe not significantly smoother. Oh my God, how is it doing it? But they say it plays better than they would expect, given the size and how much smaller it is than the Steam Deck.
Well, and I'm sure, and like, here's the thing: is I know that you were just like me, Richie, where it's like, I know that whenever you saw it, you got super fucking excited for it, and
Oh.
then you didn't.
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
It's not. They haven't released the
Oh, okay.
size for Elden Ring on Switch.
Like for like the Switch 2 seeing the release, I know everybody was so fucking excited because we've all been waiting for
was.
this for forever. Like the Switch 2's been out for forever, or Switch 1 has been out for forever, and to be honest, it stood the test of time. Like it still holds its own.
Well, once again, I think a lot of that is very talented developers
True.
realizing the bounds of the Switch 2 and kind of setting
Well,
their games accordingly.
And that's what I'm saying because I mean, you look
I mean,
at
the
like
Switch,
you
not
look
the
at graphics from like Breath of the Wild. They're not like the best graphics ever, but they used what they had to in the best way
mean, they're
they
not
possibly.
bad, though,
Well,
either.
no, and that's the thing though. But they used their graphics in the best way they possibly could have to make the game look fucking gorgeous on Nintendo Switch.
Well, it was style too.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Zelda's always had a certain style, but Breath of the Wild really just dialed it up.
Yeah, well,
Just, I mean,
that's what
to
I'm
the next
saying.
level.
Like they really took advantage of everything that they possibly could to make the game look as gorgeous as they could with what they had, and it turned out fucking awesome.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
but here's the thing: like, I can handle the $450 price tag. I'm fine with that. But again, what it boils down to me is the games. I just like
Yeah.
if I
The
get
price
it.
is absurd.
Here's the
It
thing.
is. It's absurd.
If I were to get it, the only reason I would get it would be to play the Pokemon games, and that's still just not enough justification for me to spend $450 on a console and then spend $80 to $90 on a game. Yeah, it's just not. It doesn't make sense for me to spend that money on that.
If we're being honest, that's really the only reason why anyone buys Nintendo anymore is Pokemon
I
and
disagree with
Mario
that.
Party.
No, I
No,
disagree
it's
with
the
that.
exclusives.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, I mean, Pokemon isn't exclusive. Mario Kart isn't exclusive,
And
but it's the exclusives. It's
well, and
patent.
that's the thing is
There's
that
Metroid.
Nintendo
There's the whole Legend of Zelda series. I mean,
Nintendo has this
lot.
lock on certain games, and the thing
Smash Brothers.
is that they have damn near perfected them. And here's the thing: Nintendo just doesn't make bad games very often. It's very rare. I said very rare.
Okay.
They do make bad games, but it's very rare.
They have before.
Yes, but it's very rare that they do because they have this dedicated audience that they know what works for, and they know.
I mean,
what's
but
gonna
once
sell.
again, I don't think anybody's going to argue that the games they make are so good that
No.
it's worth an extra $20
no,
on top of
100%
what it
not.
was before last gen.
No, and here's the other thing is that it's one of those things of like I was talking about. Whenever the console war is over between Xbox and Sony, it's one of those things where Nintendo is lazy and they're doing the same thing over and over and over and over because they know that it's going to sell and they don't have any competition. Whenever Xbox ends up stop being a thing and Sony's the only one releasing a console that has any kind of competitiveness to it, it only hurts us. Like, if there's no competitor in that market, then it only hurts the consumer because there's no reason to do better because you're the only one on the market that can do the things that you're saying you can do. Like, nobody can compete with that. So why change if you're going to make money either way? Just doesn't make sense to. Why spend more money to make...
Well, no, that's the whole point. That's
Yeah.
the whole point behind nobody wants a monopoly. I mean,
Yeah.
if Sony does go, I mean, and how it's kind of looking, Xbox has really not got much fight in this generation.
And the last couple gens.
If Sony continues just dominating in the console sales side of things, it's not going to be long before Xbox stops their hardware or transitions wildly into a different form factor and a price bracket and everything,
Yeah.
or once again maybe just into, oh hey, we're doing phones again, except these are Xbox phones, trying to do the whole like the N-Gage thing. And
Here's
so
Cortana
ultimately,
again.
though, I think that
Isn't
the
rumor
consoles.
Isn't the
Do what?
rumor their next console is supposed to pretty much be a computer?
Yeah, see, I've heard multiple.
I've
That one
heard that.
you
I've
said-
heard that it's supposed to be a streaming device. I've heard a lot of things. And if
Oh,
it's
dude.
streaming, it's going to kill Xbox. Period. Point blank.
Oh,
Stadia
it's just,
was
internet's
DOA.
not good enough,
No.
wide enough around
No.
the country and the world.
Like you look
yet
at the
for that
Stadia,
to
and
be
it
a
was
thing.
any time that I heard anybody excited about the Stadia, I was like, it's DOA. Like it's not going to do shit. It's immediately dead before it's even released. Like they're literally throwing money at a wall. That's it.
Well, especially Google. I think everybody realized that Google's track record for supporting these new gadgets and stuff is very
Trash.
poor.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I do have to say though is that in the whole Stadia thing is that they did refund everybody's purchases of all the games and everything that they did
As
on
they
Stadia.
should've.
They refunded them, so that's like good on Google. As much as I like to shit on them, it's good to remind people of the good things they have.
Yeah, and I mean, like, whenever, like, you can't blame Google for trying something. Like, I get it, and I mean, if
But
it
you
would
can't
have
blame
worked,
them for quitting support after 2 years
You
or whatever
can.
it was with Stadia.
and I mean, the thing is that if it would have worked, if it didn't take as much as it needed to be able to work properly, then it probably would have been a good thing. But it just needed way too much internet, and most people can't provide that unless you're living right on top of fiber internet. I don't know. Starlink might work for that because you seem to no.
No, it's the latency. That's the biggest
Oh,
thing. Is it's
yeah.
the consistent latency. Playing online is one thing, but playing your entire game, every input is sent over the internet. That's something. completely
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't think about that. I don't know. I'm getting tired of beating a dog to death with talking about Nintendo, but I mean, it's just every single day there's more, or every single week there's just more bad decisions. It feels like, and it just
Or
it
doubling
sucks.
down. Like people are like, oh, maybe we misunderstood something, or oh,
No,
maybe
and
the
they're like, oh,
clarification will
oh,
make this make
they're just
sense.
like, oh yeah,
No,
you
they're like,
did
no, no,
misunderstand.
no.
Yeah, yeah, it's worse.
We said it right. Yeah, everything is as bad as it sounds.
Yeah,
Please buy it.
yeah,
Are
actually
they in the
worse.
question is, are they in the possibility of there's no such thing as bad publicity? As long as you're talking about our product, it means you know about it.
Well, here's the thing: is that it
Yeah,
doesn't.
but Nintendo doesn't need that though. They're not some small, you know, scrappy underdog that needs all the eyes on it can get. I mean, it's already one of the world's largest corporations, and like
Yeah,
gaming corporations at least.
and it's gonna stay that way because it doesn't matter how we feel about it. There are people out there that are going to buy it, regardless of what the price is, regardless of how much they charge for games, regardless of how much the extra accessories and bullshit is. They're gonna buy it because their kids want it, or because they want to play X game one time and then never touch it again, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's gonna
Not to
sell.
not to mention they'll do the slow feeding of we're weaning everything off Switch for Switch 2. You're gonna have to buy it if you want to
Right.
play. In the
Well, and
future.
once again, I think that's going to be coming over the course of a year, maybe 2 years, because they want the Switch 2 to keep. They want the Switch to keep selling, as much to bypass that best selling game console of all time.
The
Hmm.
question on this is: are they going to go the route of the Wii U, where they're going to beat something to death and be like, "Oh, this is the next thing," and it ends up fucking dying, and they just say pretend it never happened?
Who can say? Honestly,
I don't know.
the problem with the Wii U, I think, is that not enough people realized that it was its own thing, that it was like another separate like generation to Nintendo instead of being
Yeah,
like
it was its
a
own
Wii
entity.
Pro,
Yeah.
or a Wii Plus, like
Kind
they
of like
didn't
a
do a
Vita.
good enough job discerning between the two. Whereas
Yeah.
I think everybody's this generation is aware that the Switch 2 is a different thing than the Switch. And
Yeah.
as a result, I think everybody's aware also that there's at least going to be for the next year or two games coming out on both systems.
Yeah.
So there's no real urgent need to upgrade yet.
Here's the thing: is I feel like the coming year for whenever the Switch comes out is going to be a good amount of newer games. You're going to have the Marios and the Donkey Kongs, and you're going to have the new Pokemon game come out on it, or whenever you can play it on
I think
both.
that's going to be next
But
year.
well, yeah, but they've already said they're going to release that on Nintendo, the original Switch. But I
Right.
feel like once these initial things that they've already said are coming out are through, then they're going to just start weaning it out. Because then the
Yeah,
next, like the next,
probably.
the next Mario game, the next Donkey Kong game, the next Pokemon game after these ones come out are 100% going to be just Switch 2 exclusive. Like I don't see them supporting it on Switch whenever they can make more money going to Switch 2. It just
Well,
doesn't.
no, I mean, to be completely honest, they would be making more money by supporting it on the Switch as long as possible.
I mean,
Now,
true,
once
but
again, I think they want to force people into adopting the Switch 2 because they'll make more money by proxy of people buying the
Well,
Switch 2 versions, which they're already justifying as being $70 to $80.
yeah. Well, and it's
For the
forcing
digital.
people. It's forcing people to accept $80 to $90 as the norm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
what
like
they're
the,
trying
the,
to
the
do.
Mario Kart World is $90 for the physical. I mean, it's just unbelievable. A
Well,
lot of
How much
people,
is
I
it for
think,
the
are
download?
oh God, they're suspecting that it's because the storage media on the cart has to be so much more expensive to be fast enough to run at the high enough frame rates and resolutions,
yeah,
which would make sense.
yeah.
But ouch.
Yeah, I don't know. We've talked about it that usually consoles are sold technically at a loss or break even because that's
Right.
not necessarily what makes the money. It's the games that come after. And it seems like they're selling it probably at break even and then charging an extra $10 to $20 per game, which I don't know.
Well, it's hard to quantify because the games themselves, there's no real cost per copy. All they're trying to do is estimate how many copies of that game they think they're going to sell versus how much the game costs to make and try to divvy it up by that. So that's why the industry average being $60 for so long, or seems like it's increasing to 70 now more recently, That's just because more and more often these game companies, whenever their game does not sell to what they had expected, then they're like, "Oh well, if we charged more money per copy, we could have broke even on this." And a whole lot of numbers getting thrown around, but
Yeah.
ultimately it's winding up that there's the market for it. Obviously, look how many people bought all these $70 games otherwise. Now that they're already, it's kind of gaming is moving that direction.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just over the Nintendo situation at this point because it's just getting worse. Like I said, every week there's more that it's just like, oh yeah, no, you misheard. It's worse than what you thought. We let you have it easy, is what we did. That's just how that is.
You know, and once again, this is just like a kind of the final cherry on top of the cake here. But so I can think of a couple times whenever games get re-released for the next version, for the next like a game console version or something like that, that they'll come packaged with the DLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
The DLC, like Borderlands, for example, we were just discussing it, like the Borderlands 2,
The Pandora
Ultimate
Ultra, what?
Edition,
Yeah,
right? Whenever it released on the PS4 or the that console generation, it came pre-bundled with all of the DLC with it. But whenever you go and you get the Switch 2 upgrade for the Breath of the Wild and not Tears of the Kingdom because there's no real DLC for it yet, but for Breath of the Wild, you only get the base game. You have to still buy the DLC for it,
so that's
and
stupid because
then
that makes you
also the
wonder.
$10 upgrade. So if you're not in the Nintendo ecosystem at all right now and you buy a Switch 2 and you want to play Breath of the Wild, to get the full experience is going to be $90.
Well, see, and that makes me wonder. So, like, I have Pokemon Sword on my Switch, and I have Pokemon Scarlet and
Okay,
Violet on my Switch. If I have the
Scarlet
DLC
and
for
Violet,
them,
I'm not sure about Sword and Shield, but Scarlet and Violet have already announced that they're going to have a free upgrade for the Switch 2.
but is that going to include the DLC?
I mean, I'm assuming, but if you already have the DLC, it'll come with it, and
Oh,
because
okay. So I'm
they're
just
just upgrading the
misunderstanding. Yeah.
visuals, and there's no additional real content. They're just upgrading the visuals and the graphical fidelity and things like
Right.
that to take advantage of the Switch 2 hardware.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else got anything to say on the topic?
Mm-mm.
All right. I got kind of an in between discussion type thing. So
Let's
I
hear it.
wanted to know your guys' opinion because I remember whenever I was a kid, games used to feel like they were stupid fucking hard. Like there were some
Mm.
games that just I don't know if it was necessarily unfair, if it was the controls or what it was. But do you feel like games have gotten easier as time has gone on, or do you just feel like we've gotten better?
Yes.
I think it depends on the game. It's kind of a loaded question on either end. Like obviously a FromSoft game still feels like a FromSoft game. Yeah, you could say Elden Ring is definitely more the easier of them.
Oh,
But I think
that's completely opposite from what I've heard.
I was gonna
I've heard
say,
Elden Ring is
No,
well,
like
Elden
the
Ring
on
is
hardest
launch,
so
of
much
them.
easier than any
on
of the
launch,
Dark
Elden
Souls.
Ring was considered hard because Radon was almost fucking impossible to beat.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
they had to nerf him so people could actually progress.
Yeah.
Because you can't explore the rest of the game if you can't get past one guy.
Elden Ring
Um,
is so much easier for me than any of the Dark Souls, and I don't know if it's because it's open world, um, and so I just feel a little bit more free, and I don't feel like I'm set on as much of a linear path. But I can kind of pick and choose what enemies I am going to fight and which enemies I am not going to fight. Because if there's one that I'm bad at, unless it's a boss, I can just fucking bypass it completely, just run past it. So in that
or
way, it's
go
like
farm yourself up and then go back and fight them when you're way stronger.
yeah. So
Everybody knows the
I
safe spot.
feel personally like Elden Ring's easier, but I was playing. Well, I wasn't playing, but I remember a couple of years ago. I was playing some older games from like PS2 and PS1, and I feel like they were a lot harder than what they should have been. But I also feel like that was probably a lot to do um, with controls back then because they really just did not have a grasp on how controllers should have worked back then. I don't feel.
So
Yes,
I
probably
feel
a lot of it's the controls.
in the same respect, I remember going back and playing the original Ratchet and Clank when it got remastered for nostalgia's sake. I beat that in a day, and I don't remember ever beating it as a kid.
Yeah.
So I think when you're a kid, you just kind of like, oh man, this is hard because I don't understand it. And you get once you've been through it, you're like, oh fuck yeah, I can
Well,
do this
see,
stuff.
and
Right.
and on that same
Yeah.
vein, I kind of had an experience like that too, because Jack and Daxter were my favorite series growing up, and I never beat the games, but I played the ever living shit out of them. A couple of years ago, whenever PlayStation released them as part of the collection, I bought them and I beat them very quickly, like within a week, all three. Um, and I feel like it was probably because the controls just made it a lot easier, and I don't know. The game was never really hard as a kid. It's just I don't know.
No, I honestly I think a lot of the people saying the games used to be harder, they're talking like old JRPGs and
And
things
for
that are
sure,
just
if you go
gross,
back,
nasty, hard. You die
uh
one battle and you lose literally 2 hours of time.
Final Fantasy,
Going back to
any
your last
fucking
save.
Final
And,
Fantasy game.
right. Well, I mean, even like Ninja Gaiden, like
Oh,
Battletoads. I
dude,
mean, like a
Ninja
lot
Gaiden,
of these older games. I mean, they were hard. You go
Ninja
back to
Gaiden
them
was
now, like
great.
Ghost and Goblins, man. They're just really hard.
Dude, I
They're
hate Ghost and
brutal.
Goblins. Like I remember playing Ghost and Goblins on fucking like I think it was like PS1 or some shit. And
It's been re-released a lot of
I
times.
fucking hated that game with a burning passion. Absolutely hated it. Couldn't stand it.
I played it the most on Genesis, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I
But either
uh,
way, that I mean, once again, playing it back in the day, that's all there is. Just like, oh, I could play this, or I could go play Power Rangers side scroller game, or I could
I
play
remember
this,
those.
Jurassic Park side scroller game, or it's like
Lion
not really
King
much
side
all
scroller
that you want to
game.
play. So
I remember
if you
playing
get
a
these
lot of
cool
Gauntlet.
games, you want to play them, and so you just beat your head against them over and over till you get through the part that you're stuck on.
I remember playing a lot of
Mhm.
Gauntlet as a kid. And they re-released Gauntlet on obviously many different things, but I remember like a core memory that I have. Like Gauntlet's the only game that my mom would play, and we ended up getting Gauntlet on the PS2, and that is the only game that me and my mom ever played together and beat together. Just a
That's cool. That
just a
sounds like a
just
cool little core
just
memory
a
you got.
wholesome memory right there. And I think that was one thing that really did it for me to like really get into gaming. It went no, it wasn't because I was into gaming well before that. But okay, so here's a side question to that: um, is there a game that you remember that really pulled you into gaming? Like, what game is it that you first remember sitting down and being like, yeah, this is fun, and I'm going to continue to do this?
Spyro and Crash Bandicoot
Yeah, I love those
specifically.
games.
I'd be at my babysitters as a kid, and they had a PS2, and we get on there trying to complete all the cheetah objectives and everything. I was always trying to be 100% complete because I didn't want to leave an area with something undone. No, even though I could go back, I was like, oh, I have to get it done now because if I don't get it done now, I won't do it later.
Right.
And then just Crash Bandicoot, I loved it. And then going up a little further, I remember my grandmother worked at the hospital and they had Crash Bandicoot Racing on there. And I'd always play as the little
Oh,
tiger.
Crash Team Racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I always play
Mhm.
as the little tiger. And we'd sit there 8 hours per shift. I'd be there just playing it all day.
Richie, what about you?
Yeah, trying to think. Super Nintendo a lot because my cousins had a Nintendo, but that was a little bit before my time.
Yeah.
I still played it back when I would go out to their house and stuff like that. But really, the main one that I remember playing back whenever I first started gaming, just in general, was Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Whew.
I played. Golly. There was a lot of them I would like watch my brother play and stuff too, like Earthbound and a lot of them that I've gone back nowadays and played and been thoroughly impressed by Earthbound specifically. Just excellent game. The humor and the quirkiness and stuff just resonates over time.
So
But yeah, just Super Nintendo. I'll say that just that console really pulled me into it because after that, then afterwards, I was already looking forward to the next consoles.
so here's the thing: is I remember my dad had an SNES, and like I would play it because I was bored, but never. I don't ever remember like really enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like being like, oh man, this is fucking great. This is the best thing ever.
Zombies ate my neighbors.
Um, so like that didn't really do anything for me. And then was it the Game Boy Advance or the Nintendo 64 that came out first?
Oh, 64.
Was it the
64 came
64?
out first, and then
Okay.
yeah, because that was around the Game Boy
So
Color.
then it would have been the game that would have really probably set me would have been Mario 64 and Pokemon Coliseum. Um, I think that those two games, like I have a core memory of being. I used to live in a trailer, and I don't remember where, but I lived in a trailer, and I had a bunk bed. It was a red bunk bed, metal. And I didn't have any toys in here. We had just moved in here, but I told my mom, I was like, first thing I have to do is I have to get this TV set up, and I have to get this Nintendo 64 set up that I literally just got like the week before. And I remember playing Pokemon Coliseum and Super Mario 64 for hours on
Pokemon
end.
Stadium.
Or Pokemon Stadium.
Pokemon Stadium was the
It
best.
slapped
so
so fucking hard.
That was Stadium was Pokemon Red. So that to
Yeah.
give you an idea, that was original Game Boy.
Yeah. Yep. So I think that's what really, really did it for me. And then I remember getting my Game Boy Advanced and my SP and like Pokemon. Pokemon Ruby was the first game that I got on it.
Great game.
Absolutely fucking fell in love with it. Got Pokemon Emerald. Continued to play the ever living dog shit out of it. And then obviously they came out with Fire Red, Leaf Green. Got those. Played the shit out of them. I remember playing like Bomberman and oh god, do you guys remember Metabots?
Mhm.
There was a
Oh, yeah, I was
Metabots
never
game.
really
There was a
too big
Metabots game in there that you could like customize your Metabot and fight it. I remember that. That was fucking cool.
That game was when they had the TV show, the
Yep.
mini ones
Yep.
instead of the actual ones. Like, oh man, Metabots was so fucking cool.
It was so cool. So cool.
You ever had the BattleBots game for Game Boy Advance?
Yep.
BattleBots?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
you
remember
could
that.
build the BattleBots and run through and try and win. And there was like different classes. It was,
Do you guys remember
I-
the fucking
I could
cartoon?
dive back.
Do you remember the cartoon Zatch Bell?
Oh yeah.
No.
That was
I had
that
a
shit
buddy- I had a
slapped.
buddy that was really into that. He had the cards. He had his old
It was so cool.
books and stuff too, man.
I couldn't
always
tell
remember
you shit about
liking
it
the
now.
idea- I always remembered liking the idea that you could take and set up your cards in your spell book in order, and
Mhm.
that's the order you just flip through your spell book in that order. And it was always like, oh, so there's no random chance on if you'll get your next card. You just know what your next card's gonna be. And it was like, oh wow, what a novel concept.
Yeah.
Never occurred to little kid me that would lead to pretty stale games ultimately.
Yeah. All right, that was extremely off topic. I just got curious there. So, anybody else got a topic?
I didn't come in here with anything, honestly.
Wow, what a loser! That's crazy.
I got extras here. I got a little brain picker here.
What?
Okay.
In a minute, I do. Unless you guys
So,
want to talk about music, that's pretty much the only thing I've been diving into a lot lately.
Okay, if you could have any game studio make any game franchise, what would it be? And to start, I'll start with mine, which is I would have Monolith Soft, the people who make Xenoblade Chronicles, I'd have them make Pokemon. Because if you look at what they can do with that Switch, how they're able to render these gigantic worlds filled with huge monsters and sprawling quests and, a lot of things to do, a lot of places to go see. Like, if the direction people want Pokemon to go is giant open worlds, that's who should do it. It should. You just kick Game Freak out, get out of here, guys. Monolith Soft, you're gonna make the next Pokemon.
Listen, I got one, and it might just be because I've recently been playing it. And this is the developer's going to be very basic. I would have FromSoft make the Dragon Age series. Like, from Origins all the way through. I feel like that would be dope as shit. Like, there's so much, like, look at how dark Dragon Age Origins is. Like it wouldn't like you look at the Broodmother. Imagine the Broodmother fight from FromSoft's perspective. Like that would be insane. That would be a
Yeah.
fucking cool ass fight.
You know, I have to say though, part of what made Dragon Age Origins so great was the tactical,
I know.
strategic combat system. Whereas I think you'd lose a lot of the.
Yeah, but look at Dragon Age
team-based-
now. It doesn't even have a fucking identity. It's just fucking
I don't want to look at it now.
trash.
I avert
fucking
my
hate
gaze
it.
when it comes up.
Pisses me off so much. They ruined my baby. They ruined my baby.
So I'm sitting here thinking, and then one hit me. I want to see Santa Monica Studios, who make God of War, make Prince of Persia.
That would be great.
That would be great. That would be.
I would, man.
I think
That
it
would
would
be a
bring Prince
pretty
of Persia
good,
back from
compelling
whatever
reason.
hell it's been in.
It's Ubisoft though, honestly, man. They're
just trash.
oh wait, no, is it Ubisoft?
Such a good shooter.
I thought it was.
Pretty sure it's Ubisoft. Yeah.
Let me see here. What-
Either way, that would be cool, honestly, because
I think it would bring some brutality in it, like it kind of needs, because it's.
well, and Prince of Persia needs a lot of cinematics too,
And
which
God of
they've
War
shown they can do.
always been fucking
Yeah.
cinematic. Whether it was the old ones or the new ones are just even more cinematic because they do the whole one frame or the one camera take now instead of
Right.
loading screens, so it makes it feel better.
I'll tell you who I'd like to see
Yeah.
make more games, just because I'm like a huge fan of like the JRPG turn-based combat. I would love to see more from Square Enix. I absolutely love Square Enix games. I feel like they have the JRPG flow down pat, and I feel like they make bangers left and right. Especially, I don't know. So the reason I say that is probably because of Dragon Quest, because I absolutely love that series. It's my favorite gaming series of all time, and it always will be. But they're just so good. Like they're such good games, and I don't know. I find myself a lot of the times wishing that there were more JRPGs out there. Because especially nowadays, JRPGs have kind of, I'm not gonna say died because they're out there, but not as much as they used to be.
They're mainly in the indie form.
I
I mean,
know.
short of the mainline Final Fantasy game,
Which is
3-4 years.
fine. It's like it being in indies is fine. Like we talked about it. Like the indie games, the indie scene is killing it right now. Don't get me wrong, but
Oh yeah,
I just
absolutely.
wish that like I don't know. I feel like there would be a lot of game series that like newer games that come out that like I feel like they would have been better if they were turn-based JRPGs. Like there's some that just give that vibe like they should have been and they weren't, and I don't know. Like I can't give a specific example because I haven't really played anything, but
I thought of another one I think would be good.
what?
Mad Dog did Resident Evil, like they did Last of Us.
Mad Dog? You mean Naughty Dog?
Is it Naughty Dog?
It's
I thought it was
Naughty
Mad
Dog.
Dog Studios.
No.
Either way, I think they would make a slightly better Resident Evil with the way they've been trying, with the way they've fucking been trying to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, cause man, I don't know if it's their decisions or if it's Sony's decisions or what, but they're consistently re-releasings of The Last of Us multiple times over and over is kind of exhausting. I
I think
mean,
it's because of
listen.
the TV show right now why they keep doing it.
Here's the thing: is that like I'll agree that The Last of Us is an absolutely amazing game, but I am just so tired of hearing it and seeing it. Like it's becoming Skyrim to me. Like it dead ass is. I'm tired of it. Like it's
I mean,
just,
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm not
but
saying
I would
that.
say
Like
that
it's
they
getting
are-
there. It's getting up there with the amount of releases and shit. It's just it's. I
It's
don't-
getting to saturation point.
It really is, and it's like you've re-released the same game on the same console 2-3 times already. Like, what the fuck? And also, didn't it get a fucking It got released, and then it got
Remastered.
yeah. Why the fuck did it get
Yeah.
remastered? Like, it didn't
And
even look
it's
any
getting
different.
remastered in 2 parts, I think, too, isn't it?
Why?
Part 2, I think, is getting remastered soon.
Why though?
Yeah, like,
For
I
what
don't know,
reason?
honestly, I think it's too soon.
For what reason? Like it's just there's no reason for it. I don't understand. Like it hurts my
My
head.
guess is that the part 2 is getting remastered because season 2 came out and it's supposed to reflect that game. So
It's got to
people are
be a
coming
money
back
thing.
to it.
Yeah, I mean, like for me,
People are gonna be flooding to replace Joel with Pedro Pascal in a fucking mod.
I just fall back to the idea that it's got to be money. Like I don't know. I can't think of anything else other than we have a TV show of it. We're gonna have part 2 of that essentially coming out soon. Let's
It's
remake
hot
the
right now,
game or
so
whatever.
I
So
can see that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Kinda
more
exactly
annoying
that.
than anything to me. I think. Like it's a
So I
slight
mean, Naughty Dog is
annoyance.
capable of some cool stuff. I mean, we've seen a lot of really great games from them, but I just honestly, yeah, I don't know. I don't know currently.
Um. All right, let's move on to the other topic we've beaten like a dead dog. Path of Exile. They
Yeah.
So the backlash from their major update for Dawn of the Hunt was fucking massive. It dropped most of their reviews on Steam from mostly positive down to mostly negative. This is the update where they brought out the Huntress, which is the newest class. When they did this was an extremely, and I mean extremely, nerf heavy update. And I didn't feel like it was that bad in the beginning. And now playing it, like, it kind of took some of the fun out for me. And the reason I say that is because at first I couldn't really tell the difference in like enemies' health and player health and damage and all that until I got constantly swarmed with enemies and just continued to get shit on. And I was like, oh, it is like very apparent. And even on bosses, like boss health, it has went up to like an absolutely absurd level. And I'm not asking to be able to chew my way through the Rust King in 10 seconds like I did with my Ranger. Like I have a video of that. I'm not asking to be able to do that, but like it shouldn't take me solo 6 minutes to fight a fucking boss. Like it just shouldn't.
I mean, it just I guess depends on what they're trying to make the boss feel like.
Well, I mean, a boss like the Rust King I don't feel like it should be a skill check boss. It's just kind of
Rust King should be pretty simple.
It's like what, the third boss in the game?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, like, what's the dude, the last boss in the act?
What
Wolf guy, the
King? Yeah, I mean not the Count Geonor.
Yeah.
Count Geonor.
I mean, he has every right to be hard as shit. Like, he has every right to beat
he
your
is.
fucking ass, and he is 100%. He is more so in the new update.
What's funny is I'm not trying to cut you off or anything.
you're good.
It's just I literally through the course of yesterday and today took my mercenary through pretty much the entirety of Act 3 and then beat the campaign, and so I'm back in Act 1 now on cool mode. But I mean, it was just I cannot stress enough how stupidly easy it was. I mean, it was unfairly easy. It felt like when they went to go and dial back the nerfs that they had done and to change and adjust some of the mob spawns and stuff that people were complaining about, that maybe they turned it too far back the other way to where now it's easier than it was, because I cannot stress enough how short of the final boss of the campaign, which I died once to, I'd never died to any other bosses in the entirety of Act 3 with my mercenary, which is a witch hunter. It's not like, I mean, granted, I know the Gimling did get nerfed to pieces, but the witch hunter was never really that good to begin with, according to all these meta charts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, I mean, notably easy.
So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go read through the whole patch update, just so that way we're through it all. It starts in a section with the Huntress, which is it's pretty decently large, so this might take a minute, but it shouldn't take too long. But this is just going over the percentages of what they dialed back, what they cranked up, stuff like that. So, On Huntress-specific concerns, one of the major concerns that we've seen for the Huntress is that a lot of power of the class is locked behind the parry mechanics, and some players do not wish to parry. Getting frenzy charges without parry is an option available to the class later on, but there are no other early game options that don't involve parrying. We want to give early game players an option to get frenzy charges without parry, but we have to be very careful not to make this too easy and to remove the reward for doing the parry combos. In order to do this, we are adding a new skill on the second row of the spear skill called Coal of the Weak. The skill is effectively the same as the killing palm on the monk, but for frenzy charges. If a monster is in coaling range, use Coal of the Weak to charge towards the monster, kill it instantly, and give a frenzy charge. This skill should be patched in the next few days. We also want to improve the feeling of parry more generally. Two issues we've identified are that in some cases it feels like you should parry monsters but don't, and that in other cases you get heavy stunned in cases where you feel like you shouldn't. We are currently investigating improvements to these. The other bit of feedback are players who don't want to enter melee range at all. While our primary role of this class is incentivizing a ranged melee hybrid playstyle, we do think we can improve on this type of gameplay somewhat while still incentivizing using both types of attacks. I'm that kind of person that likes to do ranged. But to make this type of gameplay feel better, we are going to be buffing the speed of spear throws generally, but especially lightning spear. The damage will remain the same, meaning you will get approximately a 25% buff to DPS from using lightning spear. So they're getting a 25% buff to projectile speed, it seems like. Some other spear
that's
throws.
Why I've been seeing so much about lightning spears.
Yep. And lightning spear is fucking insane. We'll go over that more here in a minute. Other spear throws will receive slight speed increases too, but they generally have other mechanics. That means the attack speed on them is less relevant. So it looks like on this specifically, lightning spear is the one that got a 25% speed increase. So it's essentially doing 25% more damage. Player minion damage and life. One of the areas of major balance adjustment for 020 was the minion life and damage curves for the players. And the 0.1.1 endgame minion characters were getting very out of control values, most due to being able to significantly increase the gem level on these gems. That doesn't make sense, but okay. Mm-hmm. We previously significantly reduced the growth of minion life and damage as these gems gain levels, and the intention was to mostly hit the top of the endgame, but it seems that this had an unintended effect on campaign play as well. We are making a change to increase the damage and life that minions get during the campaign to be more similar to before, while still keeping the scaling nerfs that were introduced to the higher minion gems levels for the endgame. Here's one of the big ones that people were complaining about: monster life too high. One of the first things we looked into when considering clear speed concerns was the monster life curve. We found that monsters throughout the campaign after Act 1 was probably too high. We have made an adjustment to lower monster life by 25% through most of the campaign, and this change has been deployed already.
That's probably it.
A second issue that we found, and here's the big one for me. A second issue we found is that the life bonus on rare minions was incredibly high. One of the reasons why this feels particularly bad is because these monsters are still white, but had more life than blue monsters. This calibrates players' expectations incorrectly and makes rare fights harder than they should be. This number has been set back to what it was in 0.10, which lowers rare minion life by about 60%. So that's a huge.
Like those two.
Yes. So that is an absolutely huge life decrease on those. Yeah. And I will tell you, like, it does feel like a fucking slog whenever you get to them rare monsters. Like, they are just bastards.
Not now.
Not now.
Generation.
That change obviously has been employed. Large area sizes. I have noticed that they did really increase a lot of sizes on a lot of things.
They're
big. So massive.
Oh.
All right, many players are reporting the areas feel like they are too large, which I, especially in Act 1, fucking clear felt. Oh
man. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was just that's how they were padding out the end of the campaign was that they just had ridiculously
Yeah.
sized areas. But no, that's
So
just they decided to make them bigger.
So many areas are reporting that, or many players are reporting that areas feel like they are too large. Normally, when this is the case, the main reason is due to other concerns such as monster life or player damage being incorrect, or just a lack of entertaining content in the area. However, we are checking to see if there are any outliers that players are spending too long to see if any changes to area size need to happen. In the meantime, we did notice that there are some areas that don't have significant checkpoints, which Grellwood was one. Like, they took the checkpoint for Grellwood out. Well, me and you found that out, Richie. Remember that?
Oh yeah, you're
Entering
right.
Grellwood, they took
Yeah.
that out for no reason. There used to be one there. Um, in the meantime, we did notice blah blah blah. So we were doing a pass of adding some more of these. So they are adding more waypoints, which is always a good thing, especially since they for some reason took it out of Grellwood for no reason.
I mean, I'm just not sure why there isn't one per area.
It doesn't make sense. There should be one in the beginning of the area. There should be one in the end of the area, and then if there's a significant event in it, then there should be one there too. Like, that's just how I feel.
It makes it harder to find on the waypoint map, though.
I mean, true,
I mean,
but
there
even
should be at least one per area, or that way on the waypoint map you can click a
that's
place
true.
and go to the
Yeah. Any or have you experienced any crashes or disconnects, Richie? I'm not going to
No.
go over that then because I haven't either. Quality of life features. We are additionally working on a few extra features that should be released relatively soon. The first one is adding a system for bookmarking location on your atlas map. This system will allow you to save locations with a name on the atlas so you can find them later.
I think this is like in-game stuff.
Yeah. Another is adding stash tab affinities for more item types, including socketable and tablets, and updating the flask affinity to include charms. And adding is another way to rebind specters and tame beasts. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so, oh goddamn, that was a lot. So, the big things to take away from this. Huntress Lightning Spear gets an extra 25% damage buff because it's now throwing 25% faster, which is absolutely insane because it was already fucking nuts to begin with. Because once it hits, it then spreads to others, which does insane damage. On top of that, also lowering the rare enemies' health by 60% is an absolutely massive health decrease on those. And then on top of that, it was what, an extra 25% health decrease?
Just of the minions and the later acts anyway.
And then they're looking into large area sizes, which, I mean, whenever it comes to the large areas, a part of me really enjoys it, but at the same time, for people like us who like to clear the map, it sometimes can be an absolute fucking drag. I mean, it can really just kind of kill the momentum. And I'm not going to lie, a lot of the times I'll find myself, especially like if I'm in Clearwood, because Clearwood used to be a really small map, or Clearfell. It used to be a really small map, and now it takes what feels like fucking forever to just find the Devourer. And I'm not super excited about that, because like if I spend too long in Clearfell, then I'm just not going to play the character, to be completely honest, because I'm just like, you know,
Yeah,
I could stay in Act 1, but I could just go to my level 35 whatever.
Yeah, it's probably my least favorite place.
Yeah. So, any opinions on any of this? Think yay, nay, good, bad?
Well, I've already kind of given my opinion before the patch notes was read, but yeah, it just seems like it's way too easy now.
Yeah, see, I feel like... Go ahead.
I still haven't passed Act 1, so I don't know what's going on at all.
So I feel like they are very much so struggling to find the balance. 60% for the rare monsters seems a little bit excessive. Yeah. It's like, oh, so we fucking did this and that didn't work, so we're just gonna fucking blow this bitch out of the water and, whatever.
It seems like it.
I mean, they went
wildly different.
Like you said, extremely heavy-handed on the on all that. That's just too much in my opinion. I think he probably could have dropped it down by, I'd say 30-40%, and that probably would have been good. But going 60%, so over half their health lower, seems, like I said, a little bit excessive on that.
Now, once again, until I fight one that's got the health regen that's so ridiculous that you just can't kill them, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe it really does help those, but if that's the case, they should have only done it for that one.
I
Didn't
also
we fight
don't.
one when we played? fought one that
This
had
so
ridiculous
this
health regen.
this just came out not too long ago for this one.
Good lord, that was a pain in the ass.
I will
Yeah,
say,
they always are.
I saw somewhere, and I don't know, or I don't remember where, but I could have swore that they said that certain enemies can no longer get certain unique attributes, like the haste aura or whatever, because they were already too quick. So they decided to go ahead and take that away from certain things. Because I mean, some
I've
of them it
seen
was just like,
some.
it was like, oh shit. So
It's Sonic, gotta go fast.
I mean, yes,
We got
they.
Braille.
I think what happened here is that they increased the life of the monsters entirely too much, turned the game into a slog. People bitched, complained, and review bombed the absolute shit out of the game. And they're like, well, hold on now. We'll hold on a second. And then they just were like, no, we're going to go.
Don't get hasty now.
We're going to go completely back in time. And we're actually going to make the game easier for you. So now you can just walk through everything. So
Speaking of going back in time, no, you have to do that in the campaign. That's all.
yeah. So
Don't want to reveal anything. But yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
Maybe we can get past Act 1 now.
Once again, I mean, people got to stay alive.
Hey, I was the last to die.
my
Like one time.
Hey,
my
I
thing-
still was the last to die.
my thing about this is, I would say, you probably need to go a little bit lighter on the debuffs for enemies, and kind of take it slow until you hit that sweet spot. Because what you did was you went from one extreme to another extreme, and that's not really helping the game balance or anything. Because you're still going to have those people who are like, oh, now the game's too easy, and I've already ran through the game, and I don't even want to play anymore. Because there's some people that aren't end-game people. There's some people that once
Right.
they hit the end game, they're just like, okay, well, I'll just wait until the next update now, and I'll play another character.
I'll play another character through to the end game.
Yeah, and they never really touch the end game. And I haven't seen the end game of PoE, but from everything I've heard, it seems pretty fun. But I mean,
Makes me think of like running rifts in Diablo 3.
yeah, to be fair, I am one of those people. Like, especially if you leave me to my own devices and I'm running solo, I will not do it. I just won't. I lose interest way too quickly. And I'm like, okay, that was fun for all of about 5 minutes, and now I will never do that again. I've seen what the end game is now. I don't need that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So that's the. We'll see where it goes from here. I mean, I don't know, but
Honestly, on that note, I've been getting a lot of like good item drops and stuff like that from Path of Exile, and I wonder if they're like kind of tuning back that regard as well. Like if they're kind of giving people better drops and better loot and stuff of that nature.
here's the thing: is, I didn't really understand what they meant by new economy, until this major update with Dawn
Well, I
of the
think
Hunt.
that's the Dawn of the Hunt server. I
Yeah.
think that there's still the existing economy available in the
'Cause,
standard server.
I mean, I'm
'Cause whenever you
saying-
get done, you go back and you talk to Flynn, and you can physically get a trade option from him now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's like kind of like a game supported economy, I think.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean,
when's
I
it
haven't
now?
really.
It's kind of what it reminds me of, man. It kind of makes me think of the Grand Exchange.
I completely forgot about that. So, did you guys see the new RuneScape thing that released?
With the Dragon Riders or Dragon Wind or something
Something like that. It's a fucking
Yeah.
RuneScape survival game.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
kind
know.
of
I'm not
interested
gonna
in
shit
it,
on it.
but I'm
I
not.
haven't played it or really even heard anything about it. But yeah.
See, that's the thing. I didn't either, but then I like seen it one day and I was like, "Oh, great, another RuneScape game! Can't wait to not play that." Um, and then I seen some video and I was like, "No shot! They made a 3D fucking survival RuneScape? Okay, well maybe I'll look into it. I don't plan on buying it, but it's a cool
At least
concept,
look at
and
videos
yeah,
of it.
it's a cool concept. I see where they're going with it, and at least it's something different instead of, here's RuneScape with different paint."
RuneScape Battle Royale.
Yep. So, um,
I think they actually have that already within the actual client.
I thought that was just the arena.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Just go in there and fight someone.
Yeah, something like that.
No, they have like the Battle Royale, like the Fortnite and Player Unknown Battlegrounds, that kind of thing.
Yeah, all that good stuff. A lot of people are saying
Remember
that
when fucking Battlefield had one?
they still do.
I thought it died, honestly.
Yeah,
because
it is dead, but like there's certain times of the day where you can get on there, you'll actually find a match. And it wasn't really even really a fucking battle royale. It was more like an extraction shooter where you were just trying to fight other teams, really.
like Tarkov.
It's on an extremely tiny scale. It was more like 10 teams of 2 in a small battlefield map. And you would immediately die because the people that do play it, that's all they fucking play, and they will immediately shut your shit the fuck down. It's like they have a Discord, like, okay, guys, we're going to be on at 5 p.m. for 2 hours, and we are just going to absolutely ruin anybody's shit that just decides that they want to step foot in the Thunderdome.
There's a lot of people on Battlefield already, anyways.
Oh, and
You
then
go in there and get
Battlefield.
sniped from fucking 600 meters away. You're like, what the fuck? And
So-
then you just see a small glint on the edge of the map, small tiny bit of red.
So I don't know if you guys seen it, but they released some of the visuals for the new Destruction and the new game, new Battlefield game, which I am super excited for.
Again?
Yeah, so this one, they said that they want to go back to an extreme destructible environment focus again, which I'm super glad for, because whenever they ventured away from that, it took a lot of the uniqueness away from Battlefield, I feel. Not saying that that's the only unique thing about Battlefield, or like that's the only reason people played, but taking that away, it felt more arcadey, and the reason why Battlefield succeeds so much, I feel like, is because it's not realistic, but it's far more realistic than Call of Duty. Whereas Call of Duty is the arcade shooter, and Battlefield kind of strikes that line between realism and arcade in the perfect way for certain people. So,
Yeah, I mean, if you want a realistic shooter, you just go play, what is it, Arma?
you can play Arma, Sandstorm Insurgency. You can play Squad. I play Squad sometimes. That's
Arma
another
is
one.
just way too hard.
Arma Reforger isn't too bad. The one they just came out with. It's
Why is it too hard? Is it just complicated, you mean?
it's a true mil sim. It is a true military simulation.
I will give you that. It is true milsim to the heart. I'm in 2 servers right now. Somehow I became a squad leader and I barely played the damn game.
Mm-hmm.
But like, medical in there is the most difficult thing to figure out because everybody's bleeding. But if it's a little bit of bleeding, you just need a bandage and a fucking adrenaline. You're good. If you're heavy bleeding, you need an IV bag plus all that. You also need to put a tourniquet on there if it's bleeding, and make sure you don't forget to take tourniquet off because they'll still die.
Yay.
Yeah, and not only that,
I never
but
know if they're healed or not. It just will go from heavy bleeding to medium bleeding, and after I've been spamming shit on them, I'm like,
and not only
I
that,
hope this
but
works.
if you don't know
you
any
might
of
be
the,
alive, but your heart's gonna fail in 5 minutes.
not only that, but if you don't know any of the landmarks in that game, good luck navigating because it's hell. So have fun with that.
Not to mention, sometimes you're dying, and then you just randomly get up, and all your shit was dropped. And you're like, I run. I have no gun.
And then a lot of times you're just randomly running, and then you're just dead.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
more than anything. And then even like you don't know where it came from. You just
Yep, you're just out. Done. Good night.
And then you got the guys who are true Sims on it. Like as soon as they get hit, they're like, Help me. You're like, shut the fuck up, it's a game. Like they're just down there on the ground. You see their little health symbol above them, like they need
Method
revive.
actors.
Literally, they're like, help
I like fucking playing Hell Let Loose, and the fucking RPGers there are just absolutely insane. The role players are so funny.
Like even like
Milton,
GTA role
It's
playing.
like, you're such a
People that
fucking
do it-
dork. Shut up.
People that do it. They go for it all the way.
Oh
like,
yeah,
they,
100%.
they think that if they die IRL.
Yeah, and it's just yeah, it's pretty great.
It's funny to watch, but also I'm the guy who when we're all meeting, I'm holding a grenade in my hand, so we all blow up,
Yeah,
and usually I end up getting kicked.
I don't remember what the question.
Hey guys,
was.
what's this?
Hey, I found this weird looking pineapple.
It hurt my teeth.
I don't.
It
Oh,
hurt yours too.
what were we talking about? I don't even remember.
Milsims.
Oh, Battlefield and Call of Duty and all that.
Yeah,
That's right.
Battlefield's Evolution coming back.
This is something that me and Mouse were kind of talking about before. Oh, there's a puppy. There's a puppy. That's got to get views. Hit the like and subscribe for the puppy.
It's fantastic.
Mine are asleep behind me.
Is that the gassy one?
No. That was Boone. That was the other day.
I was gonna say same dog. Same.
So cute. All right, we're gonna zoom in on that.
I know,
Get the
she's
full
cute.
effect of the puppy. What are we doing, Dad?
I'll do the Lion King. You know.
I go, ah, Sabina. Oh, you're so cute.
She's gooey. Yeah.
Oh. One thing that we were talking about before we started recording is Borderlands 4.
Yep.
You know, I'm excited for it, but at the same time I'm not, and that's something that we were kind of talking about. Where I love the Borderlands games. I love everything that they've really done for the gaming industry, but there's also negatives to what they've done for the gaming industry, because like they brought looter shooters to the public and really kind of blew that up, and then that's a positive because like those games are absolutely amazing, but then you have some of them that it's just not fun. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. You know, honestly, I'm kind of in the same boat, right? I loved the gunplay of Borderlands 3. I loved the seeming kind of, I don't know, over the top. You get a lot of specialty guns and stuff like that. I mean, it was fun. It was good. It was a looter shooter. I mean, it's what you kind of come to expect.
For sure.
But after the story that we got into, I mean, and you can go either way with it, but nobody can say it was actively bad. I mean, most people just say it was, forgettable, or you didn't really care too much about it or whatever. But that's kind of up to personal taste.
Yeah.
Borderlands 3, like unequivocally across the board, just like universally hated. Like I mean, people who haven't even played the game probably have an opinion on the story.
I just haven't finished it, and the reason it's not that I find it boring. Like, I haven't even gotten past probably like the first 4 or 5 hours. But Borderlands, so we've talked about this a lot. I played Borderlands 1 with a group of friends and absolutely fell in love with it. It's my favorite of them all. Borderlands 2 is an amazing game, and I absolutely love it. But I played that one solo. And, we've had that conversation where I feel like that really affected my opinion on the game. It may have been my favorite if I had a group to play with, but I didn't. Whereas Borderlands 3, I just can't bring myself to play it solo, and I don't have anybody that's willing to play it because everybody says that it's shit. So I can't really give an opinion on 3 other than this. It's boring enough that I can't do a solo run.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's still an opinion.
And I mean, that says something about it, considering I did 2 solo, no problem. I was content with it. I was happy.
Easily soloable.
Yeah, I was happy. Borderlands 1, obviously.
Have you played Borderlands, Harry?
A little bit. I played Borderlands 1, but I didn't finish it.
Oh,
Borderlands
so
2,
good.
I played with you guys, I think, when we hit those characters. And then we just kind of stopped playing.
Yeah, maybe.
Because
Oh,
that's how we all got back together again after we all started hating Destiny. Was you were like, hey, free game of the month is
That's
Borderlands.
been a fat minute. I ain't gonna lie.
That was like 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, sure.
No, longer.
It's crazy to
been longer
think.
than
It's
that.
crazy to
6,
think
7
we've been talking for like fucking 6, 7 years.
No more than that. We were talking before I moved.
Yeah.
Well, it couldn't have been
Yeah,
more
it's
than
been-
8
it's been-
years
it's
because
been
me and
like-
my wife
no,
have
it's
been
been-
together 8 years.
I've been with her for 5.
Well,
And I was talking to you guys before I knew her.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we knew about your last.
So
your last
it
one.
may have been 8 years because the year that me and my wife got together is the year that we started playing Destiny. Because that's about the
Yeah,
time that
yeah,
I
I
got
think it's
back
like
in
8
contact with you, Richie. So yeah, about 8 years. Yeah, that's crazy.
2017.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That
so
means
somewhere
that
in there, I guess we played Borderlands 2.
that means that I've known you for a fucking decade now, Richie.
Yeah,
That's
right about.
fucking crazy. It just it doesn't feel like that. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it's been maybe a couple years that we all used to fucking play Destiny and hang out every night, and then I don't know. That's
Everybody
insane.
hated Destiny. It made it very hard to play.
You
So
know,
none of us could agree on a game to play anymore.
here's the thing: is that as much as I shit on
Yeah, that's
Destiny,
basically it.
as much as I shit on Destiny, it will always have a special place in my heart for the simple fact of playing with the guild was the clan, whatever you want to call it, was some of the most fun that I've had playing games. And
Yeah.
for it to bring me friendships that have lasted for 8+ years, that's more than I could have asked for from Destiny. So
Crazy
What was
thing-
the expansion? The for Destiny
there was
2?
Witch Queen, or
Forsaken. That's
Forsaken.
what it was.
That's where that's where I started.
Yeah.
When we stopped.
If they went back to how the balancing was and how the weapons were and their weapon abilities and everything like that, how it was around that time when we ground out the Whisper of the Worm and the Catalyst and all that crap, I
when
would
we
be.
fucking got Catalyst with Badger.
Yeah.
They nerfed it in the ground, and I remember that day you were like, "I'm not fucking playing this again. I'm fucking."
I know, and I didn't.
So if
Dude, because it wasn't just the Whisper. It was the Sleeper. It was the Ikelos shotgun. It was
it was
couple other
every
things, too.
raiding
Basic
weapon.
raid
It
gear.
was
Your
every
basic
raiding
yeah.
weapon. Yeah.
Done.
And here's
Yeah,
the
it's just-
fucked
it
up
was
thing
just
is
like, I'm done.
well, and here's the
I
fucked up thing
spent
is
so long on those goddamn guns.
well, and here's the fucked up thing is that I think it was us three specifically, and I think maybe Panda too, but we had all kind of resolved to get the whole clan geared up with all these uniques, so that way we could do the
Yeah.
raid, and then it's like we all get it, and then like the next week
Yeah.
they're just like, nope, not doing
The
that.
reason
Fuck you.
why we started getting that is because we had perfected fucking
The worm.
Leviathan.
Well,
And we
yeah.
could do Leviathan in an hour.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Without any quarrels from us. So we're like, cool, let's start doing the Last Wish. And then we started
That's
that.
what it
We started
was.
started having issues. We're like, okay, cool. We need to
Mhm.
start getting raid
Well,
gear. We need to
so-
get ready. We need to do this. And
Yeah,
we
see, I
never did,
remember-
because by the time we got near it, shit got nerfed.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, and I may be wrong, but the Forge had just released, and then it was like a week into the Forge being released is whenever they did
Oh,
that
yeah, Black
massive
Armory.
fucking Black Armory. Then they did that massive nerf,
Yeah.
and
About
I think
halfway
it was, and I was the first one to kind of fall off because that was the same time that Dragon Age 11 came out, and I was just like, nah, I'm out.
You mean Dragon Quest?
Or Dragon Quest 11.
remember
That's
you
whenever
playing
that came
Dragon.
out, and I was out. I was like, no, I'm done. I'll get on voice chat with you guys, but like, I'm
I
out.
remember that.
I'm out. And that was kind of the point where everybody just kind of started trickling apart, and just like, no, it's just not worth it. It's not fun
I
anymore.
remember that every time I try to go back now, like before the clan, I was playing solo by myself every day, doing basic shit, getting my shit done. Then I met you guys, and now I can't even touch the game without friends.
See, that's
I'm
the thing.
This shit's boring now.
Well,
It
here's the
used to be
thing.
that I knew about it fucking everything got turned upside down. So I'm like, this is so much better with people.
Oh yeah. Well, see, and
then
like
afterwards, we've tried multiple times to revive it between me, Panda, and sometimes Demon, Romeo. We've tried to get Trizzy back, but
see, and that's my
no one
thing.
ever can.
Yeah. See, and that's my thing is like I've tried to get the clan back together, but it never seems to happen. So I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea. I've just kind of given up on it because it's like we all have our own lives, and it's just so fucking hard, you know. And not to mention,
honestly, I think it just takes a good game because look at Path of Exile. Like it's
dude,
bringing us back together
we've
to at
been
least play
trying
it
to get
somewhat
Romeo.
consistently.
I've been trying to get
Fucking
Romeo.
We could bully Panda and do it 100%.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think the
Panda,
biggest problem is
Dude,
that it's
I
the
haven't
game.
talked to Panda in fucking. It's been probably like 2 years since I've talked to Panda.
Yeah.
I see Panda once a year.
Yeah, it's been like 2 years since I've talked to him.
One of you guys travels to the other's place.
We've been doing that for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
because last year he came here. I got to go see him, which will probably be when I make another run for this lady to get dispensary shit. And then I went up to him, and he came down for my birthday, and that's how I met him. Came down for my 30th birthday. We partied. We got drunk as a skunk. It was fucking great.
I remember the pictures.
Next year I went to his house. That's when we picked up my big Pyrenees. Met Lil Panda and him. We stayed there for a Super Bowl. He came down last year. I took him to a Ohio staple, Son of Thurman's. We had burgers, relaxed, had a great time. I got to go up there now.
Yeah, like I said, it's been like 2 years since I've actually talked
But
to
once
Panda.
again, though, I think that the main thing is that Destiny 2 is just not a good enough game to support a social function. You know, I mean,
not anymore.
Not
anymore.
Point, you know?
I mean, it really, and you know, I keep having people tell me like, oh no, they've brought all this back and I don't care. No, because the problem is that you killed my passion for it the minute that I got my clan raid ready and you said no. Like the minute that you took away all the hard work and made those weapons essentially worthless and useless, I stopped caring about your game. Because it's not even the gun or anything like that I care about. I think this kind of goes back to your video, Richie, where I feel like my time was disrespected in that way. Because I mean,
absolutely.
it took like a week of us running the worm for us to even get good enough to clear it consistently, and then it took time to learn the Leviathan, and we got like you said, we were running that bitch like within an hour. And we would get on, and it wouldn't even be about playing the game. It'd just be like, hey, you guys want to raid real quick? Yeah, we'd run an hour raid, and then everybody get off because we got that quick.
Well, I mean, it got to the point that we were carrying other people through. You know? We were raiding through for other people.
Well, and that's the thing is that it was like one of those. Yeah, it was like one of those fucking parenting situations where like we'd get on the fucking thing, and if we found somebody cool enough, then we could have invited them to the guild or whatever. But
That's how we used to do it. That's how we recruited. We just run a quick raid with someone and be like, hey, you're pretty cool. You want to join us?
Yeah. And then it just I don't know. Like I think that I felt like my time was disrespected, and then you know, obviously Dragon Quest XI coming out, which is part of my favorite game series, didn't help that at all.
It gave you a pretty compelling
reason to just disappear. Yeah. It gave me a
Destiny,
reason.
you know?
Yeah, it gave me a reason to not play Destiny anymore. You know, it's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
My life
Dude, I remember whenever
it's toxic farm.
Dude, I remember Richie was so fucking heavy into League. Oh my god! I'd go over there and Richie would be like, "Oh, I gotta play League. Let me finish this match. We'll play some Magic."
I was never like I gotta play League, but I mean, when we were playing League, though, I definitely got into
Well, see, and here's the thing, though,
toxic.
Is I was never really into it, and I always just ended up getting shit on. But Tyler and Zeth and all of them, they were fucking hardcore into that shit. Like, I'd look at Zyler some days, his eyes would be bloodshot. I was like, dude, how long has it been since you said, I haven't slept in 3 days?
Just watching the screen.
Everything hurts and I'm dying. Put me out of my misery, please. Like, fuck, man.
I remember I got Mouse to come back for 1 or 2 games to play with me for a night. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what even the deal is. I'd have to find get my account hooked back up or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just not worth it to me.
I am like 6 months free of League.
See,
Oh
I'm
Still
just,
downloading
man,
right there.
congratulations!
man, I'm
Still
just
downloading
not.
right there, but I haven't touched it.
I have figured out that I'm just not a MOBA person. I'm not. They just don't interest me. They don't make sense to me. I've had people try and teach me, and it's just like it's not fun to me, and I have no
I just,
interest in dumping time into something that's not interesting or fun to me.
I just can't find a game that scratches the itch anymore.
I remember that game Paragon on PS4.
I played like I have they
That was a
re-released
lot
it.
of fun.
Yeah, they re-released it.
What?
It's called Predecessor now.
It's the
It's called
it's the fan project.
Yeah, it's called Predecessor
The
now,
ones they
and
took-
and honestly, with it being a fan project, so there's actually two of them.
They're not trying to get a bunch of money.
So there's two of them. One of them is renamed Paragon.
Yeah,
The
I
other
have
one
Predecessor.
is renamed Predecessor. And
I have
Predecessor, so Predecessor is the fan made one, and it is so much better than Paragon was because they continue to build on it, and it's fans that are making it. It's because they released the assets whenever.
Yeah, totally free.
Yeah, totally
If
free
you,
assets.
If you had bought Paragon, they
Yeah.
released the assets.
Yeah, so they released the assets, and so now you have this group of fans that are rebuilding Paragon even better, and it's not bad.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed that one, but it's still just one of those things. If it's not for me, just because I don't understand the game loop of a MOBA, you know what I mean? Like I don't understand the lanes, I don't understand the characters, and
Creeps
it's
and stuff.
yeah, I don't get it. So I typically tend to stay out of that because it's just not for me, you know. But and not to mention that for whatever reason, 99% of MOBAs out there seem to be stupid fucking toxic. I just don't. Yeah, I just
It is
just-
just
no.
the gameplay loop.
yeah,
It encourages blaming another person,
toxicity
right?
and yeah.
No one can ever take accountability.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
know
that's
games-
that's the biggest problem.
I have
5,000
hours in this game. You have 2. You suck. Shut up. I'm better than you.
That's why I always make the joke about League. No matter how good you are, someone will yell at you.
Yeah. Well,
I've had games where I'm 26-1, and I died one extra time to go 26-2, and dude's like, "Oh my god, you're so fucking shit." I'm like, "You're 0-5. Shut the fuck up."
You should have snowballed. Why didn't you snowball?
you
Because
know,
I'm the only one fucking fighting. Everybody else is 0-15.
you know what I
Hiding
find
back
funny
towers.
is that like Call of Duty used to be extremely fucking toxic. And I don't know if you've played Call of Duty anytime recently, like online, but like it, the people are like, "Oh no, it's still toxic." No, it's just full of a bunch of children who think the N word is funny and saying "fuck you" is offensive. Like,
just saying, they
like
can
if you would have
survive.
been in a 2008 Xbox 360 lobby, you'd go
They
home
wouldn't
fucking bawling to your mom.
You know, two things can be toxic at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I thought you were like, oh man, they've reformed the chat with all kinds of like AI banning and you,
Okay,
oh, you
so hold
curse
on.
and
They have.
it's
They
like, it
have.
just sounds like what it
they
always
have-
used to be.
They have.
You
They
get banned
have.
pretty fast.
So they have chat bans. That if you say a trigger word, then once you get out of that game, you get a chat ban, which will. So it doesn't necessarily stop you from talking to other people. You can talk to other people that are chat banned. However, if other people want to talk to you, they have to unmute you manually. So a lot of
Oh,
people, what they'll
gotcha.
do is in their clan tag, they'll put mute, and then people go in there and unmute him, and then they just get to call him whatever. But that's their fix to it, because other than like completely banning the account, there's not a whole lot they can really do.
I mean, you can.
Oh,
you can
no,
just
I
ban
make a
their
new
access
email.
to voice. You can ban their access to voice.
Well, and then on top of that, Sony now is recording all voice shit. Everybody's saying they're
Oh,
about ready to get to
boy.
do a fucking massive fucking ban or chat ban, voice chat ban. So like,
Yeah, I
I
mean-
don't know. Do whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
They can take away my stuff. All they'll hear me say is when I play Marvel Rivals right now and be like, "Dude, I'm healer. Why are they diving me?"
Oh well, good. I'm glad that you chat banned me. I'm just gonna go play on PC now. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm
PC is it's the Wild West still.
PC Mastercard.
There's
No,
no
Master Race.
there's just no governing
Okay.
body. You know,
Master
the
Race.
closest you get is like Discord. Oh, you got banned on Discord. It's like, okay.
I'm gonna go to PC
I'll
where I
just go
can.
make another-
I'm gonna go to PC
Another-
where I can mod boobies on everything.
You know, like,
Yay!
I mean, you can too, like mud crabs. You know, tits on the mud crabs.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Bone
mud
daddy.
crabs and the angry Gordon
Give me some
Ramsays.
of that there, bone daddy.
I
God
think
damn
that's
it.
my favorite one. Where you hear, it's fucking raw.
It's fucking raw. Oh God, we love Gordon Ramsay around here. Well, anybody else got anything to say before we close out this episode?
Well, I got another little brain tickler,
Well,
little short one.
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and tickle that brain then.
I don't have a
Okay.
brain.
What one thing would you add to or remove from modern gaming to make it better?
Microtransactions.
So, yeah, that's what mine is. I would remove microtransactions
And
for studios to prioritize making games better and earn their sales.
I have
I'd say
absolutely.
paid DLC. Just really give me it all for free.
I mean, that
You want me to
kind
keep playing
of.
your game. Let me play it.
I mean, that kind of
Well,
falls in
depends.
line with microtransactions in a way, because I mean, technically, all microtransactions are DLC.
Well, I mean,
Right.
all games used to be released fully.
Back in PS2, but then
Well,
PS3 came, and that's
I
whenever
will agree with
DLC
that.
started. Or, well, I guess I should say 360 too, because.
But there is an argument to be made for games that would normally, if they didn't sell well, wouldn't have gotten DLC. And so then it's one of those that it's based on sales that then they release more further content that then you can pay for to get. Now, what I don't like is the games that build this much of a game, and then they release this much of the game, and then this little bit over here, they sell for however much extra to get the special version.
Same
So-
price as the same fucking game.
So here's the thing. I
Right,
am
right.
perfectly fine with paid DLC. Like, if you make a full game, right? Here's your full game. And then a couple months down the road, a year down the road, you make another portion of the game. Like, you make it after the game is already released. Like, for instance, how Monster Hunter does it. They usually release their game, and it's a full game. They continue to do content updates, free content
Expansion.
updates. And then they
Expansions are
release
different.
one massive DLC about a year later that is essentially another game for about half
be an
the price.
expansion.
Yeah, for about half the price, which I'm fine with. What
Yeah,
pisses
half
me
price is
off,
the key there.
here's my
I mean, a
thing.
lot of these now are full price, $60
And I get you that. I get you there.
for 2
But
hours of content.
But here's the thing:
Right.
is that it's just not worth it to me. So I can actively avoid that. But what bothers me is how aggressive microtransactions are nowadays. Because you can't open up any single game without shit just getting thrown in your fucking face. I mean, even Path of Exiles 2. I mean, there's microtransactions everywhere.
It's at least going to be released as a free game.
Yeah, but
Still.
I mean, like, I get that, right? Like, I'm if it's a free game, do whatever. I don't care.
It
You
makes
know,
sense
and
on
I get
free.
the Path of Exiles 2 is
Right.
going to be free. It makes sense. I'm fine with that. But, like, for instance, and this is probably the worst at it, is Call of Duty. Every single week, they release
Yeah.
5 to 6 to 7 different microtransaction skins for guns and characters. And, oh, you want your gun to fart rainbows and shit clovers? We got you.
You want to hit a bong rip off your gun? $5.
Just
Right.
puke into the chamber.
like Call of Duty has seriously fallen into that aggressive micro, because you open up the game and it immediately pulls it up right in front of you. Boom. Hi.
Remember when EA
Buy this.
started all that shit?
I mean, this is a $60 game or $70 whenever next year's copy comes around.
EA sucks.
Yeah.
EA ruined
this is-
gaming.
This is Crap Division.
Right. I just
EA
missed that.
Sports. It's in the transaction.
Another thing I would like to change is, why do I have to pay for I don't want to pay for online services anymore.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah,
That's the
I'll
main
give you that.
reason I
You can
ended
pick
up
Xbox
going
for that.
PlayStation.
Give you that. Yeah,
PlayStation
Xbox.
used to be 100% free. It was why it's always the better console.
I always
Then they started
hated.
doing PlayStation
So
Plus, like, oh, you want to play these online
Well, it's
games?
because
I
they
don't
realized
fucking
they
know.
could make money.
Also,
they were leaving
here's-
money on the table.
So here's the thing. I always hated the argument, because I was a PlayStation guy. So I had a PS3, and a lot of my friends in school had the Xbox, and we'd always get into arguments. They're like, "Oh, well, you suck. Like, you would never be able to beat me in a 1v1." It's like, why? It's like, because you don't pay for your online subscription. It's like, that's fucking dumb. Like,
That's
you're
a
fucking
stupid
stupid. Like, you are an actual fucking retard. Nah, I
hit the
can't say
fucking
that,
nut.
but
You hit the
Well,
fucking
the thing is,
Dr. Seuss on him. He's like, no, you're only dumb. So is your mom.
So was your mom.
But it's like, oh my god, like how is that the logic that you're using? Because you pay extra money to play the same game that I'm playing, I suck. Like that doesn't make
Well,
sense.
no,
But okay.
honestly, I mean, having played both the Xbox 360 games online and PS3 games online, there was not much difference, man. And the fact
No.
that
Maybe one different spot.
paying it for the gold, they had to at a certain point start doing the games with gold and giving games away to justify their online because it wasn't much better, if any, than PlayStation's
Well,
offering.
and I mean that's
Which
the
was
thing.
free.
And that's the thing though,
Even
is
then-
go ahead.
When PlayStation did end up buying, it was like $3 a month.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like, it was like, we're gonna charge you, but it's not big.
and then
like,
they
now-
gave you
now you
games
got-
too.
Well,
and
no,
now
no.
obviously you
So
have different levels, and you could get way more games if you
So,
go higher levels.
originally, whenever the PS4 came out, I think it was like $6.99 or some shit like that. It was it was more than $3. But you did
No.
get.
PS4 was different. No, they started charging on PS3.
Did they?
Mhm.
I don't.
No, it was PS4.
They never charged on PS3 ever.
It was right when PS4, because Call of Duty Ghosts is when you had.
Well, because I remember right at launch of PS4 that they were talking that there wasn't really any discernible, benefit to getting the PS4 or Xbox based on the internet. Because even at that point, they were both right around the same price for the monthly subscription.
I just remember. It
No,
was
the
right-
PlayStation 3 did not charge for online multiplayer services. It was free to
It was-
use
At any point through its life.
through any
it
point.
was as soon as the PS4
this-
came out, Call
this
of
was
Duty
a-
Ghosts.
This was a key selling point for the PS3,
Oh, no, I
differentiating
played-
it from
I
the
played
Xbox
Ghosts
360,
on the
which
PS4.
required live gold subscription, blah blah blah. So yeah, they never monetized their online play until PS4, and then they saw the Xbox was doing it, so they're like, fuck it, we'll just do it too. Why not?
But they made Xbox was like $5 to $7.
But
or
here's the
more, and
thing.
initially, it was like 3 to 5 for PlayStation.
Here's what I hate about the gaming industry. Consoles, games, accessories, whatever, it doesn't matter. One company does something and they hike up a price, and then every single company follows after. EA, microtransactions.
If it sticks.
As soon as companies got their hands or saw EA release a microtransaction, their heads started fucking spinning. Like they were like, "Oh, we gotta hop up on this. We gotta get going. People are buying this stuff. Let's go." And in my video that I released a while ago, the biggest thing for me, the thing that I hate more than anything in the gaming industry, is fucking battle passes. I cannot stand them. I absolutely hate paying for something, which is essentially DLC. And then not only do I have to complete the whole thing to be able to get what I paid for, if I don't complete it, then you're going to ask me for more money to buy the things that I did not get. And it's like, no, fuck you. I already paid you X amount of money. Give me my shit. Like, even if
You remember when having a skin meant something because you had to achieve something to get it?
I miss whenever things
yeah.
are, and I talk about that in my video, is that I wish that we would go back to challenges and stuff like that, unlocking cosmetics and stuff. Like I remember playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and if you wanted things like that, cosmetics, then you had to do certain things, and that goes for all games back in the day. Like cosmetics weren't a paid thing; that wasn't a thing.
Was it Halo 3? You had to get so many stick kills to get a helmet.
Yep.
Like, if you wanted this
Even Halo
one,
Reach.
you had to get certain things. Like it was, you had to work at it to
Progression.
get it.
Yeah,
Couldn't
man.
just
I remember
buy it.
some of the most proud I've been playing an online shooter ever has been Halo 3 and Halo Reach, because you could wear your skill as armor on you.
Well,
You
pop in
saw
that
somebody with
lobby
the
and you
cool
have
armor,
that-
you knew that they were good.
and here's
you
the
pop in
thing.
there with that samurai helmet, and you immediately be like, "Oh,
Hayabusa.
fuck."
Well, and here's the thing is that, like, whenever it came to doing those challenges, it wasn't just cosmetics. Like, a lot of times they put the most powerful weapon in the game behind some kind of challenge, and people didn't get pissed off about it because they know that they actually had to do something and work for it, and it usually was something pretty
it.
decently hard to earn it. You know, you didn't just buy it. Like, that's the reason why people don't get pissed off about, like, weapons being hidden behind challenge walls or shit like that, or cosmetics, because you actually had to do something to get it. You didn't just have to open up your wallet and be like, here you go, give me my stuff.
Destiny used to be so good at that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of guns. You see some of the Galahorn, like holy shit, or like early
Yeah.
Thorn.
Yeah.
Like
They
before
were
people
honestly
knew how
what?
to figure it out, you're like, holy shit, how'd you get that? How do I
Yeah,
get
well, and
that?
they would be like selling you skins and stuff, the exotic skins and stuff like that. But still, a Galahorn was a Galahorn. There was no way to really,
Yeah, but yeah,
get
that's
one
yeah.
with money.
Yeah, see
Mhm.
that's just the skin for it, but the actual gun you didn't have to pay shit for. You just had to go and do the thing to get the thing, and that was it.
Right.
Then
You
they just
know?
gave it away if you pre-order the next DLC.
God, ooh. But anything else?
I think that's why we loved Forsaken too, because there was so much grinding to get the good shit, and
Yeah.
it was
They
right
gave you
before
so much to do.
it was right
Well,
before they went free to play, which is
not to
fine that they want to be
mention,
free to play. That's cool. I
Right.
like that. I like that they wanted. Cause it's initially that they turned what Ubisoft wanted them to do into what they
Activision.
wanted to do, because they wanted the Crow the whole time. He was supposed to be the Hunter Vanguard, so they found a way to weave the stories together to make it exactly what they wanted to be. That's why I
Right.
like it. It was they took it to where they wanted. They got to relieve their vision. Um, but the Forsaken was just so hard and grindy that it made it fun. Like when one of us would pop up with a gun, like Le Monarch, like holy shit,
Right.
how'd you do
Right.
that? I'm still halfway through the quest. I need this. Help me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and once again, I mean, there was a lot of cool stuff like that. Um, and it doesn't feel like that's really the case anymore. Like more
Mm-hmm.
often than not, that's all available through kind of spending cash somehow, or you can bypass this grind. And then in certain times, I'm not saying Destiny, but certain times they'll actually have the grind be like a timer or something like that. Like you've got to wait unless you spend money,
What
and
was
it's
it? You can only do Whisper on Wednesdays and Fridays.
oh
There
man,
was
oh,
only a
yeah.
certain time that this one
that's what it
boss
was.
would pop up, and you have to
Yep.
find him. If you don't find him, good luck. See you next week.
No. If you remember, what we had to do is we had to cycle who was going into the instance. So, like, one person would go in, they would check to see if it's in their instance, and then we'd all back out back to the tower, and then everybody else would hop back
Oh,
into it to see if they see him, and if they didn't, then we'd all hop back out. And then once somebody found him, then we would all hop into their game, and we would
Mm-hmm.
TP on them, and then we would run the instance. But it took us, I mean, shit, it would take you anywhere for potentially anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours to fucking find this one boss. And on the off
And
case
then
that
you
you
got
were
15 minutes to complete it.
yeah.
the
And
jumping
you better
puzzle,
fucking complete it.
and we got good at the jumping puzzle, other than Romeo, because he's a Titan and didn't no,
I'm a Titan.
yeah, but he
I
was
did
he
it.
was like never mind. Bonk with
He was
stick
like, I don't
Titan.
want to jump
And
Titan.
he was Bonk with stick
Ah.
Titan.
Yeah.
Crayons taste good.
And it's
I
like,
was the
dude, just
PvP
jump,
guy, so
just
that's
hit
why.
the fucking platform. I'm trying.
We just wait till we get to the. We'd be like, just get there and we'll TP in.
Yeah.
Just fucking go.
Right,
You guys
right.
complete it. If you guys can complete it, like, and that's how. Because initially it was like, all right, we're waiting for you, and then we eventually were like, fuck it, we have to go. We
Well-
need to leave him behind. He will catch up.
And I remember the first couple times that we completed that quest. I mean, we barely completed. It was like single digit
5
time.
seconds.
It was like
6
single digit time.
3 seconds left and stuff like that, man.
When
Yeah.
we got good at
So
it,
close.
Yeah.
there was like 3 to 5 minutes left.
But
Yeah, because we just get there so quick.
It would take us 10 minutes to complete the jumping. I
yeah,
remember
Yeah.
that. It would take us 10 minutes to get to the main boss area. And
but
we'd have 5 minutes to beat him, and once we got good, we could do it in a lot less, because it'd be all of us are there together now, instead of like, Mouse made it, here comes Harry, Romeo's
Right.
stuck back in the jump puzzle trying to fucking jump the 10-foot gap.
here's Demon deciding whether he wants to play Warlock or Hunter. Never playing
then
Titan because he fucking hates it.
I was a Titan.
I
from
couldn't
D1,
stand it.
So
Couldn't stand it.
100%
I
get
was my main was a Warlock, and then Richie made me jealous with his Hunter, and then I went back to my Warlock, and it's just I went back
Yeah,
to
with Hunter
Warlock.
and the Stompy is just trivialized.
Well, see,
whatever.
I went back to
That's
Warlock because
Sometimes
I mean-
beat you. I'd just be a Glide Titan.
well, here's the thing: is I
I
went back
That's
just-
to
true. There was
Yeah.
something though that was boosting the Titan though. I think
yeah,
It's
it
just
was
like
my
when-
Well of Radiance.
That's all.
maybe.
Because that's why
I
I
got
went.
really good at
Well, see, that's
aspecting my
why.
DPS as a Titan back then.
Well, see, that's why I went back to my Warlock for raids is because of the Well of Radiance, because it had that damage buff. And so whenever we'd hit damage phase, then I could pop Well of Radiance and everybody could just hammer it out. But we should probably close this because we're near an hour and 40.
Alrighty.
Anybody got any closing words or anything like that?
No,
Toaster.
kind of got through everything I wanted.
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate you guys joining us on episode 3 of Demon's Loot Box. I'm glad we got to have Harry here. Didn't have anybody last week. Harry, why
Mhm.
not?
I am terrible with time. And usually I end up busy and I overcommit myself to multiple different things and have to end up choosing one.
But we do appreciate you guys watching. If you could like, subscribe, follow. I will have Mouse's stuff in the description. Harry, do you have a channel?
I have multiple.
Okay. Well,
On YouTube?
you can just.
I mean, I don't do much on YouTube except for upload my music stuff that's shipwrecked, and that's music reviews for Underground. Doesn't matter what it is. We take any suggestions. I also do sometimes, not a lot anymore, stream on Twitch, Crack and Priest. Sometimes I turn those into videos. Sometimes I turn them into just clips. It just depends on how I feel. Most of the time, I'm just vibing. I
Well,
made it. I mean, you guys know I made the stream and everything just because I want to have good times with friends, and it's just a way to immortalize it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will have both of their stuff linked below. Till next time, we will see you later.
See ya.